The PlayStation Store's tremendous great indoor sale is finally coming to an end. We've uploaded a ton of videos going over all of the deals available. Honestly, I can't really say all of the deals available because there are so many great deals that there are just some we haven't covered. However, we looked at games under $10, under $5, 10 generally great deals. And here we are, our final video covering the sale. We are going to look at 10 more great deals. Honestly, doesn't do the entirety of the sale justice, but we are going to be looking at some of the best deals that we have yet to cover. Of course, if you haven't checked out our other videos covering the sale, definitely do so. We've gone over a lot of the titles, some of the hidden gems, some of the more marquee titles, and everything in between across a wide array of prices. Without further ado, let's kick it off with the final video covering the PSN's great indoor sale with The Evil Within 2, which is 67% off for $19.79. The Evil Within 2 released all the way back in 2017, around the same time as Wolfenstein 2. Both Bethesda published games and both titles went on sale very quickly. They were both like $30 a month after release. Now The Evil Within 2 is $19.79. Not gonna give Wolfenstein 2 a mention because that's at a hefty $30 at this sale. Don't think that's quite worth it. But The Evil Within 2 is fantastic. If you guys haven't played the first game, that's not a big deal. You can jump into the second game and have a great time with it. Very good survival horror title, great atmosphere, solid gameplay. Atmosphere is tremendous, visuals are great, and they updated the game quite a bit and added more content. A first-person mode was added as well, so that's pretty cool. And the entirety of the game is just very good. The first game is also on sale. I believe Evil Within 1 is $10, which isn't a bad deal, but if you're just looking for a high-quality survival horror game, honestly, I'd probably just jump into the second title. Next up, for you fighting game fans out there, Injustice 2 Legendary Edition is 70% off for $17.99. So this includes the base Injustice 2 game and all of the downloadable content characters. That's 10 additional characters and 5 premier skins, including Hellboy and TMNT. And of course, Injustice 2 is a very good fighting game, whether you're looking to get into the competitive side of things or you just want more of a casual fighter with some incredibly iconic characters. Injustice 2 really fills the void for both of those gamers. And for someone like me that does play fighting games more casually, this was a very compelling game. A solid single player was in there as well. And if you're just playing games at home with friends, that's a lot of fun as well. Again, a very accessible fighting game, but also a fighting game with a lot of depth to it if you want to go that route. And $17.99, I would say, is a very good deal for the Legendary Edition. Next up, Grand Theft Auto 5 is on sale. It's 50% off for $14.99. You can get that if for some reason you haven't gotten it yet, but I want to highlight Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, one of the most iconic PlayStation 2 games of all time. It is 40% off for $8.99. Of course, this is essentially the PS2 version. Some updated visuals, trophy support, so that's pretty cool. But again, GTA San Andreas is one of the most iconic games of all time, and I imagine the majority of you guys have played it. But at this point, it's what, 15 years old? So I imagine some of you younger gamers haven't played it. And if you haven't played it, definitely go back and give it a look. While it's not technically like GTA 5 or some of Rockstar's more recent titles, there's still a lot of fun to be had with San Andreas, and you should go back and check out why this game is heralded so much by gamers. At $8.99, still a little bit steep, considering it is a PS2 game that typically goes for $15. Would have liked to see a steeper discount. If it was around that $5 range, that would have been an easy recommendation. At $9, I would still say it's a good buy, and I would give it a look. Next up, we've got a collection that's a little bit in the news right now. Borderlands The Handsome Collection, 67% off for $19.79. Now, this collection specifically isn't in the news, but Borderlands as an IP, yeah, a lot of people are talking about it with the impending announcement of Borderlands 3 probably coming at PAX East. Rumors have it that Borderlands 1 Game of the Year Edition is also coming to the PlayStation 4. The Handsome Collection, on the other hand, includes Borderlands 2 as well as Borderlands the pre-sequel, a ton of DLC on top of that. Whenever it does go on sale, it seems to stay at this $19.79 price point. I would love to see it a little bit cheaper. If it was $15 or maybe even $10, that would be so great, but that's just me being cheap as hell, because Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel are absolutely worth this price. Given all the content that you're getting, given all the replayability that these games have, you can be invested into these games for well over 100 hours, 150 hours. You can even hit that 200-hour mark. It's just a very replayable game, whether you're playing it solo, whether you're playing it with a couple of friends. A lot of fun to be had with Borderlands The Handsome Collection, and if you've never played Borderlands, remedy that ASAP. $19.79 for it is tremendous. Next up, we have one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games that was remade on the PlayStation 4. Zone of the Enders, The Second Runner, Mars is 60% off for $11.99. Now, this is a little bit of a bummer. They actually released the Zone of the Enders HD collection on the PlayStation 3. That included Zone of the Enders 1 and 2. They decided to release Zone of the Enders, The Second Runner as a standalone title on the PlayStation 4, a budget release at $30, but come on, would have liked to see the first game as well. Nonetheless, Zone of the Enders 2 is a great game, and a Hideo Kojima title at that. I know most of you guys know Kojima for Metal Gear, but Zone of the Enders was another one of his brainchilds. It is a very good mech-based game, and again, we don't get a lot of great mech games these days, so this one definitely fills a void. Just be aware of the fact that it's not a lengthy game, you can complete it rather quickly. However, considering you're not paying a steep price, and considering it does offer pretty compelling and unique gameplay, I would give it a strong recommendation. Next up, we have one of the more zany and wacky games from last generation. Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition is 75% off for $9.99. Now, the issue with this remaster, it was the absurd price. It released at $49.99, and that was absolutely insane, considering the main issue with this game last generation was the lack of content. The single-player campaign could be completed in like 6 hours, and it was a $60 game. You wanted to re-release the game so many years later and charge $50 for it? That just was not gonna fly. Now that it's down to $9.99, a much more palatable price point, honestly, dare I go as far as to say this is the price it should have been released at? I don't know, I would have been okay with the $19.99 price point, but come on, $50? Just gotta go back and mention that. However, this is a very fast-paced, very fun first-person shooter, very arcadey and very dark in its humor. I would not play this game around any children. Play it by yourself, and you're gonna have a fun time. I should mention that I believe this game was a PlayStation Plus offering back in the month of November, so if you guys were subscribed to Plus back then, you might already have it in your library. Would recommend you to play it. If not, $9.99 for it is a pretty good buy. Next up, we have SteamWorld Dig 2, 60% off for $7.99. Now, I actually recommended SteamWorld Dig 1 as a part of my under $5 video. However, SteamWorld Dig 2 is without a doubt the better game. 60% off for $7.99. Yes, it is 4 times more expensive than the first title, but dare I say it's 4 times the better game. Maybe not that much better, but it is a substantial improvement, and if you want a quality Metroidvania with great visuals, great gameplay, I think the perfect word to describe SteamWorld Dig 2 is charming, because yes, it's a very charming game, and it's a great mining adventure with solid gameplay. $7.99, great price for it, and I would give that a recommendation to those of you guys that dig Metroidvanias. Next up, for those of you guys that want a quality strategy title on the PlayStation 4, how about Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun? This is a game that I don't recommend all too often, just because I don't honestly see it go on sale all that often, but it is an awesome tactical stealth game set in Japan around the Edo period, so a setting that everybody loves, a setting that's a little bit in the news right now with a little game that's been released recently. But this one has you take control of a team of deadly specialists and sneak in the shadows between dozens of enemies. Choose your approach when you infiltrate. You can choose your approach and you'll be infiltrating mighty castles, snowy mountain monstrosities, or hidden forest camps. A lot of variety in the settings. $14.99 for the game is pretty good. However, I know some of you guys just inherently with a game like this, you're not going to be sold from the get-go, so there is a free demo available. So check that out, and if you do like the demo, buy the full game as well. Games like this typically don't get a ton of recognition on consoles, but I definitely give Shadow Tactics a look. Next up, we have the Quantic Dream Collection. This includes Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, as well as Beyond Two Souls. Now, it's not seeing a steep discount, but it is 25% off for $29.99, and the thing to note about this is I already think that $39.99 base price for the Quantic Dream Collection is fantastic. Detroit Become Human isn't even a year old at this point, and on top of Detroit, you get Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. While I wasn't a big fan of Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain was a terrific game. Detroit Become Human was very good, and to get Beyond Two Souls on top of that for $30, essentially $10 a pop, that's pretty freaking good. Now, the issue here is, again, Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls were PlayStation Plus offerings last year, so some of you guys might already have that, and that'll kind of undermine the value of this deal. However, if you don't own any of these 3 games, man, you are in for a steal. They're all story-driven adventures, very light on the gameplay, but they offer compelling stories, at least in the case of Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. Beyond, on the other hand, gets a little bit muddled. A little bit is honestly doing it lightly. It's a pretty big train wreck of a story, but sometimes it's a little bit compelling as well. $30 for all 3, though, is a really good buy. Lastly, we talked Rockstar earlier with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Their most recent game was Red Dead Redemption 2. That's seeing a pretty sizable discount, 33% off for $40.19. I'm very surprised with how quickly Red Dead Redemption 2 has gone on sale. Rockstar games generally hold up in price for a very long time. Going back to RDR 1, that game didn't go on sale for a very long time. GTA 5 held up in price for so long, and Red Dead Redemption 2 only a couple months old, and it's already down to $40. I guess at this point, they already got the $60 out of the people that are gonna pay $60 for it. Why not discount it a little bit and try to sell it to some more people? I get that notion. If you've yet to check out RDR 2, this was my personal game of the year of 2018. I know some of you guys were partial to God of War, and by all means, that game deserves recognition. However, with Red Dead Redemption 2, because I'm such a big fan of open world games, it just did open world gaming justice, and for anyone that digs open world titles, just wants a game to invest so many hours into, Red Red Dead Redemption 2 definitely fits the bill. And with a sizable discount like this down to $40.19, an easy recommendation on this. Hopefully it just gets cheaper and cheaper though, since Rockstar is discounting it 33%. Who knows, maybe in the summertime it'll be down 50%? I don't think it's too much of a far cry since they're already showcasing that they will put the game on sale. But right now, 40 bucks is a good buy on Red Dead 2. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, the PSN's Great Indoor Sale is wrapping up March 26th. It's been crazy covering all of the great deals available. As a part of that, I don't think we're gonna see a sale as big as this until the summertime rolls around, and usually the PlayStation Store does hold a big summer sale, so we'll cover that. And generally speaking, we'll dig up the best deals that are available on the PlayStation Store. You guys know how it goes if you've been following this channel for any length of time. We've got your back, so that's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.